All right, are you ready to get started? You got your list? Got your list?
Yeah, sure.
Nice. Okay, let's start. 10 seconds for Harambe.
Spin it! Let's begin!
Rocco's Modern Life.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Heroes in a half shell! Turtle power! They're the world's most fearsome
Warning for real. Attack warnings for bloody real.
Live from Colorado Springs, the Drop Culture Podcast.
Want to confirm, is this an exercise? Roger, copy. This is not an exercise.
Come on, quick, get down. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome, everybody, to the Drop Culture Podcast. I'm Dan,
My name is Brock.
And I'm Mitchell.
and now that you know who we are, we're going to do a podcast. What are we doing a podcast today about?
Our top 5 Saturday morning cartoons. This is something that we talked about a long time ago doing, but I don't think...
Yeah, I think it's been on the list for a minute. And there is a little bit of annulment to that, or addendum to that, rather. Mitchell grew up in the world of 24/7 cartoons.
Yeah.
So he did not get up in the morning to watch Saturday morning cartoons.
I had channels for that.
Yeah, so I think it's more really just about cartoons that we really dug, you know. Most of mine are Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah,
because
most of
I
mine
didn't
too,
I
yeah.
didn't include like, G.I. Joe, Transformer, all that.
I put them on the list, but
Yeah.
that's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. And I know some of those were Saturday morning cartoons that I never watched as a Saturday morning cartoon. I just
Never.
watched them after school.
Right.
Sometimes
Or
before school.
Yeah, like Voltron.
Sometimes in clips on the Bozo show.
Did you ever see any of Bozo?
No.
Oh my God, that was a...
What about the grand prize game? Come on, man.
Nope.
Throwing
I
a
was
ping
always-
pong ball into buckets for bicycles. What a great game.
I believe you, but
You know what would make you really mad when you watch that? Because they would like give some kid a chance and he would biff it on like the second or third one. And you're like, I swear to God, if you give me the chance, I'm going to win it all. I could hit that bucket. So basically what Bozo taught us was how to play the drinking game.
Beer pong.
Beer pong.
Yeah. Learned all my beer pong skills from Bozo. That's my next t-shirt, by the way.
Bozo's the
That is a weird correlation.
It's true, though. You're not wrong.
It was like we always wanted to win the grand prize game, and then
Little did we know the grand prize game was getting everybody else drunk.
yeah, it is. Yeah, somebody at a party was like, "Dude, you remember that Bozo show? What if we put beer in it and like if you made it in there, you would chug?
You made somebody else chug.
Oh,
It's brilliant, man.
all right, dude, brilliant." But we digress already in the episode.
Usually. Get used to it.
But I have a pretty healthy list, but I'm not. I mean, I'm not
Pretty
gonna-
healthy, like large tracts of land.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Kind of like a healthy hippo.
Okay.
A healthy hippo.
Healthy hippo.
It's the hippo
that's
that
new
eats grass.
That's probably the new game. Healthy hippo.
And all it eats is soy.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. It's a vegan. But aren't hippos vegan anyway?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't know anything about hippos.
I know they're mean.
What do I look like? Some sort of scientist?
Yes.
Oh.
Now,
Have you looked in the mirror?
now I know
Why
that,
do you have that trench coat on?
like you said, we had
It's a
that.
lab coat, sir.
That makes way more sense, Doctor.
Doctor.
Like we had that whole problem with like what is a Saturday morning cartoon, what isn't a Saturday morning cartoon, because towards the middle of the 90s, I guess or the beginning of the 90s, they were starting to have Saturday morning cartoons on things like Nickelodeon.
Sure.
And so there was a couple that were on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings that you'd have to catch, but.
And even then, like the older ones, like we said, a lot of them, like I just remember as afternoon, after school stuff.
DuckTales, Darkwing Duck,
So
Chippendales.
Chippendale Rescue Range. Chippendales.
Hey, right on.
Dang.
Somebody's got that down.
I know, right? Do you know the Tailspin song? Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't know the Tailspin song? Come on.
Well, who wants to go first on their list?
Whichever, man.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay, so
She's like, that's just fine.
legitimate Saturday morning cartoon to me was Garfield and Friends. That's my
remember
number five.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What was the knockoff Garfield? Heathcliff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made my honorable mention.
Okay.
Because Heathcliff had like 3 different shows, and he had Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats.
Yeah,
Forgot about that. Wow.
But you're talking about Garfield.
Garfield and Friends, that was something, because they always did the Barnyard one. What was the Barnyard one called?
We're ready to party. We're ready to party. We're ready to.
Dude, all the theme songs for these shows were awesome.
Absolutely.
They were so quick, but yet it got you hyped up. Like you're running around the house like you just drank a soda pop for the first time.
Yep.
And like doing airplanes and shit. Scraping your knee on the shack.
Man, oh man, that's amazing.
No, but I remember those shows distinctively because like my dad really, from what I remember, he really loved Garfield. So my dad actually drew a whole bunch of Garfields for me on some plastic trash cans for my toys one time. It's
How
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still have Garfield cups.
Of course.
Yeah, the
I
ones
got
that
the
came
comics
out.
all the time.
Garfield?
Yeah, I got
Really?
the books, like the ones that had like the
Oh yeah,
from this year to this year.
yeah.
Nice.
Garfield eats his weight in gold, Volume 4.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
joke.
I still have some. I still have one of those. I think it's like a Far Side book.
Yeah, they're just like that, and I think I have some back home, but like way back in Michigan with my parents still.
I would go to the library at school and they would have them.
Yeah, so
that was
good.
awesome. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I went to my cousin's library and they had Nintendo Power when I was young.
Damn.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I get like books that are like, oh man, learning how to churn butter.
Yeah, and this is Nintendo.
How to raise a house in one day, or raise
That's
a
what
barn
I'm
in
saying.
one day.
And it's raise, yes, raise a barn.
Barn, you don't raise a house.
No, that takes 2 days.
Makes sense, really.
We have men overnight holding it up.
That sounds like a terrible job.
Yeah, they don't have a choice.
They must have sinned.
No, it's just what the Lord wants.
Oh, well, what the Lord wants, the Lord gets.
Pain and misery is.
That's why we get what we had here last evening, which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it. I
Hey.
don't like it any more than you men do.
What are the odds that it rained? Anywho, we digress.
We digress. More on Garfield.
And back to Garfield.
It was the U.S. Acres segment.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I
they
remember
were.
that.
You had the chicken, the duck that was crazy, Orson the pig.
Why are ducks always crazy in cartoons?
Because ducks are just nuts anyway.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I met a couple of ducks and I didn't like them. Kind of shifty, right?
Shifty ducks. I had a duck when I was a kid. Here's a digression for you. Take this. When I was a child, I was in a psychology class, and I had a duck. Was it psychology? Might have been. I don't know. One of those ologies. And I had a duck, and I had to do an experiment with this duck. So I had a Pavlovian experiment where when I played Alice Cooper, a certain Alice Cooper song, it would know it was dinner time and it would come over and eat. And it was just a little baby duck. And one night
I feel like this is a lead up to a joke. No, I'm just kidding.
It was laying on my chest, because it had this little place where I box and whatever that I had it in. and I was stroking his little head and fell asleep.
And then it exploded.
And then I fell asleep,
Oh.
and I woke up with a duck with a broken neck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
So there's a fun story for you kids.
Yeah. We don't like ducks. Not a friend of the show.
You know what my duck's duck's name was?
Quacks.
Ralphus.
Oh.
That was the midget guy with the axe from Bloodsucking Freaks.
Mm.
There you go.
There you go.
Duck McSturdyneck.
That was
Nope.
not his name.
Missed the boat on that one.
It's just like a chihuahua being named Zeus.
In hindsight.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
What are the odds? What a weird name for the outcome.
Well,
So wait, did the Garfield show, was that the same guy from the real Ghostbusters that did Bill Murray's voice?
mm-hmm.
Because it always sounded like Bill Murray to me.
Gerald
And then Bill Murray
Lorenzo
did the
Music.
voice in the Garfield movies.
Mhm. Lorenzo Music.
For some reason, I feel like more like nasally, not nasally, but like more muffled. It could have been just the recording because it was from like so old.
Right.
Yeah. He's done so much too. I mean, he's that
Yeah.
guy. Darkwing Duck. You know, he's been on a lot of
That's
stuff.
Darkwing Duck?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, he was on Darkwing Duck or he played Darkwing Duck?
No, he was voices.
Okay.
He was, who'd you play voices?
Voices.
That's the villain from season 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's also got a TJ Hooker credit. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, shit.
No Fall Guy, though.
That'd be fucked up. My one curse word.
The one you are allowed.
The one I'm allowed.
R
But
rating.
that's my number 5. Garfield and Friends.
Yeah.
So who's up?
Well, I'll go just for the sake of clockwise. Wacky Racers.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
I didn't know if you guys actually watched that.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
loved all Hanna-Barbera. Like all Hanna-Barbera was good with me.
They showed those on Sunday mornings on USA back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when you stayed up for USA Up all night,
Yeah.
in the morning it would still be on and you'd watch the Wacky Races.
Right.
Yes.
And the show actually came out in 1968, I think, first. And we
Shit.
were seeing like
Yeah.
rerun upon rerun, like Scooby-Doo.
All the reruns.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a flashback.
Do you think about all those shows that had like 2 or 3 seasons and yet you watched them for like 10 years,
Oh, my God.
you know?
The Pink Panther on USA in the afternoons
There you
at like
go.
5:30.
What was that one animal like Hanna-Barbera? Oh, God.
Snagglepuss?
No, but it was like,
Captain Caveman.
it was super 70s hippie style.
Oh,
It was like costumes, almost like real life.
Oh, are you talking about Sid and Marty Krofft's weird banana splits?
Banana splits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but talking about all this, all of a sudden, like that popped into my head, and even the little intro, like.
There were actually a couple of those that I thought about. I don't remember what the other show was called where they had No News is Good News with Gary Gnu. That was just like one little section, but it was a bunch of animals. But it was like very similar to Sid and Marty Krofft show. Or could have been. I don't know.
Didn't Sid and Marty Krofft also do, or Kraft, or whatever their name
Krofft.
was? Krofft. Didn't they do,
Laura.
Twice a night. Boom.
the TV show, Laura?
Because they needed the money.
They didn't do Land of the Lost, did they?
No.
No,
I don't think
that's what
so.
I thought. I didn't ever watch that show growing up.
Well, I mean, I just remember, what was I say I remember, and then I'm like, what was that? And like, the bad guy, he would always say, oh, Muttley. And he was like,
Dick Dastardly.
The Dastardly, yeah.
yeah, dude. It was
He's
so
on.
good.
I'm gonna win this time, but he would never win.
And he'd always have like a hot air balloon.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Caveman.
And son.
yeah.
Yeah.
The son was, of course, the smart, like, down to earth one.
Right.
Well, here's some names
Speed
for you.
Buggy.
Oh.
Grape Ape. Oh, son.
Great baby.
Grape Ape was the shit.
Those were all within the Wacky Races at some point, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, you got the
I mean,
Slag
they're all
Brothers,
there.
Rock and Gravel,
You had guests on.
Yeah, that's
didn't
what
you?
I was thinking.
the Gruesome Twosome, Tiny Big Gruesome, and Bella Little Gruesome.
Those are the two little tiny, like, white suited.
I guess they were in the creepy
yeah.
coop. Professor Pat Pending.
Pat Pen.
He's an
Penelope
inventor.
Pit Stop.
in a convert a car. Okay, the Red Max. He was like the Crimson Hay Baler. What? Penelope Pit Stop. You're right. He was in the compact, or she was in the compact pussy.
What?
Compact Pussycat.
That's like up there with the pussy, or not the Pussycat Dolls, the Josie and the Pussycats. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
When I was young, I was like, oh my God.
I can't believe they said that on TV.
Oh, they're cats. Like Pussycats is the. Oh.
But it's a
Sergeant-
double entendre. I get it.
I get it. I'm 3.
Mitch actually was Stewie.
Like, I'm not.
Less gay tendencies.
Yes. And less smarts and less talking and less evil plots.
So you're nothing like Stewie, but your head was shaped like a football.
That, I mean, Hey Arnold, I bonded with. Just saying.
you go.
Anywho,
okay,
what if Hey Arnold was just Stewie growing up in a foster care system?
pretty much it.
Like an alternate universe.
Could be. Could
Another
be.
day over and over again.
Just, but anywho.
Yeah. But you had Sergeant Blast and Private Meekley, the Ant Hill Mob, which became the Goody Mob. And they were in the Ring-a-Ding Rug Bug Benny Mac. Did what? No.
What the
The
fuck?
Bulletproof Bomb.
How did that become the bulletproof bomb?
Yeah. Well,
Granddaddy Mac. That's what I heard.
Ring-a-ding.
Daddy.
The Mac Daddy of all.
Basically, okay, Clyde was their leader, and they had Ring-a-Ding, Rug Bug Benny, Mac, Danny, Kirby, and Willie. And they were all inside the Bulletproof Bomb.
Bomber?
No, just bomb. Yeah.
That seems like a bad place to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
But
what
it's
we called her.
bulletproof. Right.
Good deal. We'll explode later, but right now, nobody can shoot.
Yeah. Lazy Luke and Blubber Bear in the Arkansas Chug Bag. No.
Oh my God.
Chug a Bug.
Chug a bug. Chug back.
Gulp. Peter Perfect in the Turbo Terrific. Rufus Rough Cut.
Dastardly guy.
Yeah.
You don't?
I know I do. That's
Oh, yeah.
the guy I remember. Him
Oh,
and
yeah.
his dog. I don't remember any of these people he's talking about, like, in my head. I'm not
You always
placing-
remember
Yeah.
Muttley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Muttley in the Mean Machine, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What happened?
Nothing.
Mean Machine?
Yeah.
Oh, the
no.
meat machine. I think that's what he said.
yeah.
No?
Is a meat
The
missile.
meat wagon.
Yeah. Dick Dastardly
many different
and Muttley
meats.
in the Mean Missile.
That's a great band name right there.
Dick
My punk
Dastardly and the
band.
Meat Missiles.
That's our punk band from high school.
Oh, so good.
That's gross.
The funniest part, they were all women.
Oh, well, yeah, I could see that.
I could see that.
I could see. I hear you.
You know, somebody actually sees what you're seeing. when
I
they're like,
actually hear you.
I hear you.
Well, that was a good pick, Mitch.
Thanks, man.
Do you have anything else to elaborate on that one?
It was a good show. You should watch it.
I think you're all right.
Good.
Dang, they were.
My turn?
Yeah, your turn.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to go with a little 1986 cartoon by Rankin and Bass. And I think this is one of their last ones, right? Rankin and Bass.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was one of their close to the last one. And it's called Silverhawks.
Ooh.
So Silverhawks was kind of like the Thundercats, but in space.
Mhm.
And instead of all cats, as you can imagine, they're all birds. But they're not like birds. They're like people with like silver metal suits that give them wings. And they fight.
Pretty badass.
That art was really good in it. And it always started out with Tally Hawk at the beginning. Yeah.
Did they have the helmets that were like shields,
Hair?
but they looked like hawk like heads?
Here, let me see if I can share a picture.
No, this was one of those forgotten kind of
I'll
shows
just
too.
Google it real fast.
Silverhawks were very
terrible
like
picture.
a lot of people liked the Silverhawks, but they weren't as big as like you would think. Right?
No, they weren't as big as like Thundercats and all that. But they say had the same kind of bad guy though, because you know how Mum-Ra would be like weird, and then he would turn into Mum-Ra.
Mum-Ra.
You know, he'd have to like do the thing to become Mum-Ra though.
Right.
Kind of same with this guy. He'd be like, Moon Star of Limbo, give me whatever. And then he would turn into a bigger, badder version of himself. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like the main bad guy. And basically he was fighting off like...
I remember that guy for some reason really, really well.
All right.
Don't remember the rest.
That's fair.
Commander Stargazer. Quicksilver. Bluegrass.
Quicksilver was like the main guy. He was like the Captain America of the Silverhawks, if that makes any sense.
He was the former head of Interplanetary Force H.
This is the one that clicked for me. I have seen this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then there was Bluegrass. Bluegrass always had his little guitar gun thing with him. And
Plus, he had a cowboy hat on.
And he talked like you would imagine a guy named Bluegrass would.
Stereotype.
Yup.
Jeez. Steelheart and Steel Wheel.
Yep. Those were the twins.
Why did they always have twins in those shows? Like Thundercats had the twins too.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know like they would have occasionally like there'd be like a story arc where another one would come. Like Flashback was one. I think he came from the future.
Wow.
I had some of the toys. Some of them.
The Copper Kid.
He was like the smart one, right?
Yeah, I think so. Youngest. And he's the only Silverhawk not from Earth. He is a mathematical genius.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Oh, that's crazy. And then you got your bad guys. Hot Wing. What?
Hot Wing wasn't a bad guy. He was a Silverhawk.
Oh, minor Silverhawk. Yeah.
The big bad guy was of course Monstar, and then like the rest of it was like it was like basically organized crime in space. And they were fighting against it. And then, like, the other character, of course, the one I liked the most was Tallyhawk, which was like the cybernetic hawk that was Quicksilver's hawk.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like an actual hawk.
They were rare to see in the wild,
space.
too. You know what I mean? Like toys.
Yeah.
I only knew people that
it
had
was rare
like
to see
one.
hawks in space in real life, too.
All right.
But I really liked the show. I thought the art was really good at the time, especially. You know, I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it was good conceptually, I think, to me. It like spoke to
It was almost anime, like
yeah, kind of, but
borderline
yeah,
getting there.
absolutely.
So they lived in the galaxy of Limbo, but Limbo has breathable air and characters in space.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's a great idea. Why didn't this blow up?
I don't know. I think that it's got some people that like it, but like you said, it wasn't as big as other things, but it really did create like its own universe and did character building, I thought, within it. And that's what my daughter asked me what like my choices were.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, even as a kid, I was always kind of story driven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wanted that more world building, more what's going on. And I felt like this show did that, even though it was pretty short lived.
Yeah.
You know?
How many episodes did they have?
They had some that I watched. I don't know.
Damn. 65.
Yeah, that sounds right. Which is
65.
one season.
Wow.
I
Jesus. It was like He-Man season 1, 122 episodes. Jeez. That was actually
23 minutes a click.
I
You know,
know.
65 episodes in one season.
Wow. Yeah.
But I watched that, and then I watched it again when it was like after school in syndication.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my number 5.
Oh, nice. That was a good pick.
That was a nice number 5 all the way around. I
It was a
think.
deep cut. Silver.
I'm sure all my stuff's going to be pretty deep cut.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Not just because that's what I liked, except for one of them. One of them's like swept the nation.
Yeah.
So
Well, my number 4, X-Men the Animated Series.
awesome.
That was a great show. I liked it better than Spider-Man. Even though the Spider-Man show was pretty
Better
good.
than the 90s Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
That's
the Spider-Man
fair. That's
animated
fair.
series, yeah. Even though the Spider-Man the animated series did follow along, X-Men created a character that bled from there and that was Jubilee, wasn't it? She was on the series first.
It was Morph. Morph is the only character that was
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that's correct.
But they used Jubilee quite a bit in that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that
Yeah.
was the tie to the kids.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the 90s thing. Like, let's get somebody their age in there, and get a female.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it makes sense. It's not only good marketing, it's like good balance.
I thought it was always so cool. And when it first came out, remember the Night of the Sentinels?
Yeah, of course.
And everybody knows this videotape because you could get it for $7.99 with a Pizza Hut pizza. It was freaking expensive, right? For a VHS tape that maybe was 23 minutes. Night of the Sentinels Part 1 is where if you go to any thrift store right now, they have Night of the Sentinels Part 1 if they sell VHS.
But not part 2.
Nope.
It's true.
Like Part 2 doesn't exist. You could only catch it on TV. All the villains, everything. I think even Captain America was on one of them. They had so many different people that were there.
Did you ever see the precursor to that? Pride of the X-Men?
Mm-mm.
It came out in like 89.
I heard of it.
And it's spelled Pride like Kitty Pride.
Oh,
Yeah.
Was it the Kitty Pride show?
It kind of was. But I mean, it had everybody in it, but it was weird because Wolverine was Australian.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
And the art wasn't
Dumb.
as good as, it was a few years before, so that's pretty understandable.
Well, this one, when did X-Men come out? 90? 91? Let me see. Dead Air.
Came out on October 31st of 1992, my friend.
Ooh. But I remember, like, my parents even at one point were like, man, that's like a soap opera.
100% it was a soap opera for kids.
They
I
had
mean, that's what
continuity.
comic books were. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what comic books are. Let's be realistic. They just happen to have people with superpowers and sci-fi and
Right.
fantasy and whatever. You know what I mean?
Days of Our Lives, Marvel
So
edition.
are the days of our X genes.
But I mean, the art was good in it. It was like post G.I. Joe art. You know,
yeah.
G.I. Joe art was pretty cool, but it was still kind of clunky.
Oh, of course.
And then you had this, which was a little bit crisp, so it still gave you a good, like a real feel to it, like Spider-Man too. But everybody was all like buff and stuff, and they really utilized most of the characters that the X-Men series from the 90s.
Absolutely.
They really, really, really used
I mean,
that.
you had
quite
a lot
bit.
of Bishop, you had Gambit, you had like all those kind of that were created around those times. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, I mean, having Rogue
Jubilee,
is,
of course.
yeah, Rogue is a character that I think that they really need to focus on in any kind of X-Men series. Even though the Rogue that they had in the other ones, she kind of fit the mold, but they never utilized her in the right way.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball on that Rogue.
Well, and I feel like there's also wasn't a ton of development for her from the beginning, like how she got her powers. You know, I mean, there's a whole Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers arc in there.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think without that, you don't understand who she was before that, you know,
Gotcha.
and then who she was after.
She was a pretty big part of this show.
Yeah,
which was
100%.
pretty cool.
But she was just automatically in that most powerful form, you know.
Right. Yeah, there's...
But no, this was a great show, and this is one that anytime it was on, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I'm watching this.
Still. Yeah, but you hardly ever see it anywhere.
Isn't
You
it
know?
on Disney Plus?
Probably.
I think so.
Probably.
I think
It's been a while since I checked. But
I don't think this will be on anybody's list, so I'm going to piggyback off that because this is by far like one of the best X-Men cartoons. I would say the one that gives it a run for its money is Wolverine in the X-Men, if you've never seen that.
yeah.
That show is amazing from beginning to end. Like, the story is good, the art is good.
I remember it being...
I mean, it was much later than this, so the art's obviously a bit better.
Was it after or before X-Men Evolution?
After.
Okay.
After. But this show, they actually were trying to get everyone back together. There's been something that's been going on for about a year and a half now to recreate this 90s X-Men show.
Nice.
Like, get all the voice actors back together and everything.
Probably be able to do it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not, right?
What else you got to do? Lazy shits.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. If you were a kid in the 90s, you knew this one.
Oh, 100%. I'd say even if you were a kid not in the 90s, like this is something that was around. You know?
I don't think it really lasted in syndication too long But it was on Fox a lot.
There were 5 seasons of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's compare that because remember there were 76 episodes in this, right? In 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Silverhawks had 65 in 1 season.
Silverhawks trumps.
Well, I'm just saying that
I know, right?
obviously a difference in how things were released at the time.
And not that far apart either.
Right.
And this one was 92 to 97.
Yeah, I think back then though it was like, it always came out like every day and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was afternoons.
Yeah.
Yep. Mitch. Okay, Mitch, since you got to go, give us your number 4 all the way to number 1.
All right. I'm going to go with Tailspin as my number 4.
Nice.
Good one.
That was a great show.
It was a great show.
Absolutely.
It was one of those that is reigning supreme. I don't know if it might be on one of your guys' lists, but you guys might talk about it a little bit more. No?
Probably.
It's not
Either.
on my list.
Check it out. It's a great show. Oh, yeah.
It is a great show. I agree.
And then after that was DuckTales / Darkwing Duck, because I always got those mixed up.
They're in the same world, though.
They're like the same
Launchpad
world.
McQuack is in
Both
both
of
of
them.
them.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that I didn't get. I mean, I always got them confused because of that.
Small Darkwing Duck's not rich.
Yeah, he didn't have
Yeah,
Scrooge
true.
McDuck money.
Yeah, he got that old Scroogey money.
But it was like the thing where the mechanic, like what was his name? You just said it.
Yeah, Launchpad McQuack.
Launchpad. Like that kind of
McQuack,
thing
yeah.
where Darkwing, he was his sidekick and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he became like a robot or whatever, like cyborg.
Yeah, well, he would get
He
his
was like
one
Robo
wheel.
Quack. Yeah.
Yeah, Robo Quack or something like that.
I don't
yeah.
know what his name was.
But he would fight for like the police and all
Yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff. And he'd have a little
Yeah.
siren that goes on the top of his head.
He's
But
very much a RoboCop
he had
character.
one tire that he would like
Yeah.
connect to, and then
Yeah,
he
he
would
was
like
like
scoot
unicycle
around.
robot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
And it would
really
break
cool
sometimes.
balancing going on in there.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't Launchpad fly the same kind of an airplane as Baloo? In
I believe
Tailspin?
that's probably true.
I think so.
Never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. Second one, number 2, Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest was awesome.
It's such a good show. Yeah. And amazing what they did with that Johnny Quest, the first episode of Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Yes.
Oh, man. Where, yeah, they are partners that work together and raise children. Wink. And then my number 1 is Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Because I used to watch the shit out of that.
Absolutely.
Man.
Kept my
Yeah.
creativity going and made me think and,
Made me think that no matter where they go, there's crime. So wouldn't
I
you
know.
just, as like the FBI, follow Scooby and just
Right.
gang around and be like,
Yeah.
we're just going to bust crime behind them. Might as well clean up this mess.
Right,
Oh, it was
yeah.
old neighbor Jenkins again.
They just stopped to get a bite to eat on a dark road. They're like,
no,
holy crap, there's
honestly,
a carnival.
I was a big Scooby-Doo fan, especially as a kid. But my favorite episodes were still always the episodes where they had guest stars.
Yeah.
Like the Globetrotters
Oh my God,
or
yeah.
Jonathan Winters.
or Corn.
That's different.
Oh, is it different?
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Well, Mitch,
That was a great list, dude.
Thank you, sir.
it's a good list.
Yeah.
It's a good list.
Sorry that you turned into a pumpkin. I know it's getting late.
Hey, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's the Shrek effect, only reverse.
Oh, wow.
The Shrek effect.
Either way. Have a good night,
have a good
everyone.
night.
You guys have a good list. I will listen to hear what it is.
I will listen.
Listen.
Sonny Liston.
It's actually a light version of Listerine. Liston.
With
Made
less
with
letters.
all natural chemicals.
From the people that brought you paint thinner.
Lead paint.
Oh.
Asbestos.
Asbestos. Do you or a loved
In
one
the
suffer from asbestos?
In the tradition of lead paint, asbestos, we bring you
Listerine from asbestos.
Listerine.
Listerine. The light, fresh, new take on your mouth.
100% not alcohol free.
Double the alcohol. Triple it, why don't we?
That's
Kill them
right.
germs. That's what
The,
kills
the surge of mouthwash.
How do you think we just made it all natural? We just made it like pure alcohol, which is natural.
them. Yeah. It's like gurgling
Duh.
fucking pine saw.
Pine saw. Anyways, I'm going to go now for real. Bye.
All right.
Peace.
Later, Mitch.
Bye.
All right, Dan.
What are we doing?
What is you want us to keep going?
Sure.
Okay. So, all right, Dan, what is your number? What is it? Are we on 4?
4.
Yeah.
Yes,
What is your
we're on
number
4? My number 4 and my number 3 kind of go together. So I'll start, and that might be like foreshadowing.
Whoa.
This is like a cartoon. Like when I was a little kid, this is what I got up to watch. No matter, like when we woke up to watch cartoons, especially at my father's house, there I had a brother and a sister that were around my age, like one year older and 1 year younger.
Gotcha.
So we got to like choose like a block of time to watch a show.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You'd have
Because,
this
yeah,
hour.
you know, my little sister had to watch whatever she wanted to watch. My older brother would have to watch whatever he wanted to watch. And I would always choose to watch this show and another show. Well, a couple other shows. But this is the 1982 cartoon series, The Incredible Hulk.
I never got to see it, man.
It was amazing. And it always started out with Stan Lee talking, you know, which was always awesome. And it's weird to think as a kid that young that I even knew like that voice resonated, you know,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I heard him my whole life. You know what I mean?
Especially on like the Electric Company with Spider-Man and Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was where I first got exposed to it.
And then, and it was Bruce Banner, not David Banner, like in the show, you know?
Yeah.
So like they kept a lot of that the same. They had some characters that didn't exist in the like comics ever. Rio, who was like a sidekick kind of guy, supporting cast guy, and his daughter.
Instead of like Rick Jones and stuff.
Yeah. But man, I just loved it. You know, like he'd flip out and then smash everything, and it was an Incredible Hulk, dude.
I know, right?
Of course, you know, like I don't know, I was pretty young, but like I still watch those old Hulk shows, you know, like on reruns.
Yeah.
You know,
All the TV shows.
Ferrigno and
Yeah.
Bill Bixby stuff. Yeah.
Every once in a while, because I remember growing up and watching those two in syndication, of course. And it was always really cool to, I don't know. I didn't get into the stories. I just wanted to see the Hulk because I was so young.
Right.
And then, what was it? A&E or TBS? Maybe it was TBS. TBS got like a ton of shows in syndication. Batman 66. I think that one. A whole bunch of older
They'd play
shows.
all those Spider-Man movies.
Yep.
Yeah, like from the 70s or whatever.
Yeah, and then they would have also, what is it? Not Nick at Night, but whenever that channel, TV Land or something like that, was starting, they had all those old ones too. But this is one I never got to see. I was only 3 years old, so.
Yeah. And again, I mean, this was something like, again, wake up, bowl of cereal, you know, but it was a little later in the morning, so I had to hold off,
right.
you know. It wasn't early morning.
But that was always so great to wake up and you.
Dude,
like,
we wake
get
up at like
breakfast.
why the U.S. Farm Report was on at like 5:30 in the morning.
Right, when they just turned the station back on because they used to turn them off.
Yeah. And then just wait. And then you're like, oh, the Farm Report's on. Okay, cool. I got time to make cereal.
Yeah, you're like,
You know?
beep, beep, beep. All right, cool. Let me go get my.
Well, beans are up.
Yeah.
Time for cartoons.
Yes.
And it would always start out for me, anyways, with like something old. Like there'd be something old that was on early.
Oh yeah.
You
There's
know,
always
like Land of the Lost or something like that. They'd play something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the times that I can remember the timing for those would start at like 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30.
Yeah.
And then you would have the older shows that early for the little kids, right?
Right.
Like Care Bears and weird stuff like that, right? And then about
For little kids, like girls.
yeah.
Jerk.
Yeah, I know. Damn, I'm a dick.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Excuse me. I don't mean to burp. That's gross. Yeah. But what was it? 9 to 10, maybe 8 to 10 was like prime time
Yeah.
for Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, because about Because about 11 o'clock, everything went to like now you're watching Soul Train on USA,
Right, right.
or
Yeah.
TBS or whatever it was on.
Yeah.
And you're like, darn it,
That's
American
man.
Bandstand.
Oh, when American Bandstand would come on, you'd be like, ugh,
Yep,
time to go
cartoons
outside.
are over. Yep,
Yeah.
let's go play.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. I should get up. I should get out of the house and go play. Cool. Kids don't have that.
I agree.
They really don't.
Well, no, because now it's like, like we even talked about with Mitch. He grew up and, he's an adult.
Yeah.
And he grew up with 24/7
All the
cartoons,
time. Yeah.
And we did not. I mean, towards the, they happened in our lifetime, but not when we were children.
Correct.
You know?
I do have quite a bit of later cartoons when I was a little bit older.
Oh, sure.
I still watch cartoons.
Oh,
still
absolutely.
To this day.
Yeah, dude. These are, to me, like when we first started, it was all Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
And when we made that realization that Mitch would have nothing to say, because every cartoon was a Saturday, he'd have everything to say, because every cartoon was a Saturday morning cartoon to him.
At that point, yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah.
That's cool. So, The Incredible Hulk, you're number 4.
That's my number 4, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Number 3 for me is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That is my number 2.
Oh, see, that's always gonna happen. But that's an awesome show.
Absolutely, man.
Man, I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like,
they're the world's most awesome fighting teams.
yeah.
They're really hip.
The freaking theme song, man,
Yeah,
that would pump you up too.
absolutely,
You're
for
like,
sure.
yeah. But the story arcs that they would have and the characters that they would have, but then they had the merchandising. So,
Well, of
I mean,
course.
you were a Ninja Turtles kid at that point. You know what I mean? And it's so crazy that it started out as a violent comic book and they just kind of turned it into that.
Yeah.
But it was so campy and so funny. Michelangelo, you're always like, yeah, Michelangelo. Right? Leonardo was always the straight one. You know what I mean?
The leader.
Yeah. You got April O'Neil and I don't know, all of those characters. And then we
Donatello
had,
was the techie one.
right.
And then you had the broody Raphael, who always was just kind of a
Right.
jackass.
Yeah, just like in the movie.
Just like in the comics to some
Yeah,
degree, except
yeah.
Raphael's a badass in the comics.
Yeah. The movie was came out kind of at the tail end of this.
Yeah,
I remember.
absolutely. I think it was like 87, right? Initially.
Think so.
And then when it came out, but I think like 89, right? For the
89 or 90.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, but no, Ninja Turtles, man. Oh my God. That's still a cool show. I think I still.
Casey Jones.
Yeah.
That was always my favorite just because he wore a hockey mask.
Right. Yeah, he had the hockey mask and like he would just want to fight.
Yep.
It's like, you want to fight?
And just the weirdest villains too, because of like the way they design their villains. First of all, like in the original comics, like when Eastman and Laird were doing that, I remember reading an article a long time ago that they got the idea for Shredder from a Cuisinart,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. Yeah, yeah.
But then, like Bebop, Rocksteady, Krang, what was Krang?
Krang.
Yeah, the brain guy.
Yeah.
Whatever. What was the Fly, like medical assistant guy? Doc Brown?
No, it's Baxter Stockman.
Yeah. Good callback. But yeah, like I was always hyped when the show was on. I was like, hell yeah.
Man, it was awesome.
It was on for a long time.
It did last a long time. And, I think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and all their incarnations have been so prolific in so many different generations,
Sure.
Like my little brother was into a version of them. I know that my grandson will probably be into a different version of them.
Sure.
I mean, there's so many different ones.
Yeah, you already have a grandson, so.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy.
I was getting ready to say, like, they may actually be actuality by the time your grandson.
Yeah, by the
you've
time
already
he's
got one, so
yeah.
that may not be true.
By the time he's watching cartoons on Saturday, which they don't have anymore.
No.
I forgot whenever it died, but we'll talk about that very end.
Sure.
That was my number 3 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice. Well, I've still got a number 3, and if you want to talk Turtles, I can talk Turtles all day long. But I guess we're doing a list.
Yes.
So as I said, my 3 and my 4 kind of go together because at one point they actually became one show. And this is Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And this actually had come out earlier. It was like 81 and lasted longer because I think The Incredible Hulk only lasted one season. And that was when they were like the Marvel Power Hour or something like that.
Oh.
Where it was, you got The Amazing Friends and then you got The Incredible Hulk or vice versa. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know that they tried to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so
every time they've come out with a cartoon, they've tried to do like 5 or 6
well,
different
like
ones.
in the 90s, you had the X-Men, but then they did
Fantastic
Iron Man,
Four.
they did Fantastic Four, they did Silver Surfer.
The Hulk.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was kind of... The Silver Surfer show was pretty good, though.
But this show, I loved, man. This was another one, like even before there was a Hulk show, I love this show. And, I mean, obviously, they have an original character that made it into the comics from this. And that's Firestar. Yeah, she was not... Which is a pretty cool character.
Yeah.
Kind of.
No. Everything that they did on that, it was kind of like Super Friends, you know, in a way. Super Friends was cool. But
I think what identified, like they were all in college or something, you know what I mean? And living with Aunt May.
Right.
So they were still kind of kids.
Super Friends was just like Batman and Superman
yeah,
and
they
stuff
were just
like
like,
that.
hey, we're fucking awesome. Let's get together.
Meanwhile,
back at the Hall of Justice. I always thought it was cool. Like Iceman would always like just turn into a big block. He'd like spray himself with his ice and turn to a big block of ice and bust out of it.
yeah,
You know?
that's how they did their transformations.
And
yeah.
like she would all flame on, you know, and burn all her stuff off. And then Spider-Man's like,
He'd just thwip in.
I'm gonna have to go change.
He's all thwip.
But the awesome storylines through it too. I remember there was a X-Men episode with Arcade as the villain.
Really?
Yeah, I think he took over the X-Mansion.
Wow.
There was trying to think who else was on there. There's quite a few. Like I remember Tony Stark being on an episode. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
I think they would bring in a lot of people. What I correlate,
I think it was more towards the end when
they started expanding.
bringing in more people.
Yeah, after the success,
because everybody else
probably
kind of seemed like they were made for the show a little bit, you know.
Gotcha.
To some degree, in my opinion. Of course, I don't know. That was a long time ago.
I always correlate this television show, of course, with like the Electric Company, but the second part of that really was whenever I was in kindercare.
Mm-hmm.
This kid had a Spider-Man,
Okay.
but I remember seeing the Secret Wars toys. It was just the smell and the feel of those things. It was weird, right? They were all stiff and everything, and I can remember this kid had a Spider-Man, and I was like, that is so fucking cool, man.
Right.
I want that Spider-Man. You know?
I gotta get that Spider-Man off you, sir.
I'll get that Spider-Man.
You got that Spider-Man?
But I will always remember that, and probably until like I'm senile and I'm like, oh man, where's that Spider-Man at? You know, just imagine him playing at a daycare center. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I think that there were a lot more villains that came on than other heroes, though I do remember other heroes being on it. Like Daredevil was on one of them, I remember.
mm-hmm.
But a lot of villains that came from the show, you know, and then I think more than I remembered, to be honest.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah. Well, I was a kid, you
Yeah.
know, like
Man,
yeah.
Spider-Man. When you're a little kid,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
Kick
is
his
like
ass,
the coolest.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Kick his ass, Seabass.
Yeah, that's right.
No, my son, he liked these shows too whenever he was little.
Okay.
What we used to do, he loved being on the computer. My son was good at it, right? Computer, whatever. So I bookmarked YouTube on it whenever he was like super little, right?
Right.
And it was bookmarked as Spider-Man. So he would go and he would look for the Spider-Man, hit that. I swear to God, that is the gateway to absolutely everything content-wise on YouTube as possible. He would watch the Spider-Man videos over and over and over again. He loved it.
Nice.
You know, it wasn't like all day, but if it was computer time, he was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go over there." Yeah,
Got this.
He knew how to get there in the bookmarks. He knew how to do everything. And that's my youngest. That's Jack.
Nice.
He's really into it. But that's a good.
But yeah, I enjoyed that. That was like early on in my Marvel experiences.
Right. I never read a comic book. I remember the shows, but
Yeah, I think I maybe have had some comic books at that time, but I was little. I didn't wasn't reading them for, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah. The only comic books I had at that time were like Conan books. Wow. Overexposed at a young age. Desensitized.
Yeah. So awesome. And it was awesome that they put them together into one show for a while when I was a kid, at least for a year, apparently.
Right. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
So
that was my number 3. And my number 2 was TMNT. So it's your number 2, my friend.
My number 2. I'm going to drop a big deuce on this one right here.
Big old deuce.
Eek the Cat.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I loved Eek the Cat. Because a Savage Holland, Steve Holland?
Yeah, Savage Steve Holland.
Mm-hmm. His stuff, I always remember One Crazy Summer, right? And then when Eek the Cat came out. But what Eek the Cat was doing different than anybody else is they were throwing adult references in big time. They were basing episodes on this stuff.
Right.
Which was so cool. And Eek was like, it was a pretty cheesy kind of an idea. But my correlation again was seeing that One Crazy Summer movie, and then it being on Fox on Saturday mornings, and you would look forward to it. I was still like 11, 12 or something like that whenever it was on.
Sure.
And they would have jokes like about, what's that movie? Apocalypse Now. They would have like cool stuff just peppered in there, and you're like, "Oh my god!" It was kind of like it was like a grown-up almost cartoon.
Yeah.
But it was funny as hell. It was better.
What year did that come out?
I don't remember. I think it was like 91, 92.
Okay.
Let me look. There we go. Hey
there, kid.
Hey there, kitty. Yeah, September 11th, 1992. Whew. So yeah, extravaganza. Yeah, no, everything was so funny on that show because it's so weird. It was kind of the beginning of those cartoons like that.
Yeah, like the Ren and Stimpy style and those kind of things.
That was one of my honorable mentions, and I would say my top 10 was Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure.
I was older. My sister was younger. We would all, as a family, watch that. It was
really
weird. Yeah, it was a weird time. She was like 2.
Okay.
Something like that. She loved Ren and Stimpy. My dad did too. But yeah, we'd always watch that. That's weird. But yeah, that Eek the Cat. Oh my god.
I can't say anything. I watched the Boondocks with my daughter. So
Right. Yeah. I would like to watch some more Eek the Cat, but I need to find some more. There are so many failed pilots and like 5 or 10 episodes of cartoons that never lasted, like that Police Academy one. Jeez. Who would have thought that they would have been like, hey, let's make a cartoon because we're up to 6 now.
Right. I think it was well before they were up to 6 that they made that show, though.
Yeah, it was probably like part 3.
Probably.
Citizens on Patrol, otherwise known as COP.
I wonder if they ever went in the Blue Oyster Bar.
Oh my god, that would be so awesome. It was like dum 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 doo doo. It was always Proctor. But yeah, Eek the Cat. If you've never seen it, you have to watch it. So many weird characters in it. But if you know Savage Steve Holland, you know his stuff is pretty crazy.
Oh, always. Yeah.
He always does really cool everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Even his movies.
Well, and all of his movies really had those cartoon parts in it, too.
Yeah.
Better
Off Dead.
And One Crazy Summer.
One Crazy Summer.
Yeah.
I know he had, how many other ones did
That's all the movies he made that I know about.
Yeah, I know. We're like, all those movies?
I just missed that. That there are any other movies other than those two.
How I Got Into College, which was pretty funny.
Yeah. I didn't know that was him. I forgot that was him, actually.
That was a really good one, too. Man, I remember that. Now, okay. I digressed. Okay. He did Legally Blondes. Oh, man.
That was his money. That was just
yeah. He had to pay the rent.
Right.
That's cool. I get it. Okay, so that was my
number one. Then.
That was my number 2. Yeah, you skipped
my
ahead.
Number 2 was TMT. All right, so picture, if you will, a group of kids at an amusement park. When suddenly they are sucked into another world while on the roller coaster. That's right. This is the world, my friend, of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, man.
And I fucking love this show. From this is 83 to 85 this ran. It was done by Toei. Amazing. This was one of the more violent shows that I remember as a kid. In dark, there was some darkness to it.
They have dragons and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Tiamat, the dragon. The main bad guy was Venger. And we'll get to him because basically these kids, first person they are introduced to is this little dungeon master guy. He's kind of like the wizard or whatever. He's not a wizard, but I guess he is. But he's the dungeon master, so he leads them towards their whatever.
Okay.
And he gives them all an artifact. So one of them, the main leader kid or whatever in the beginning, Hank, he became the ranger. He had a bow that he could pull back, and there was nothing, no string or anything, and it would just make these energy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then there was Eric the Cavalier, and he was actually voiced by Don Most, who was Ralph. He was. Hold on. Yeah, he was Ralph the Mouth on Happy Days.
Oh,
no doubt. And he was kind of a rich kid, and kind of a little more selfish than the others.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
And then the acrobat, Diana, and Presto the magician. He was kind of the geek, out of the group. If you're picturing,
with a name like Presto,
yeah. Well. And if you're picturing the Breakfast Club going to Dungeons and Dragons, that's what this is.
It.
Kind of.
That's a good. Yeah. Okay.
The girl that had the invisibility cloak, and then the youngest person in the whole group was Bobby, and he became a barbarian. He had a big club.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. It was that classic kind of a trope. The littlest person becomes the biggest person with the biggest weapons.
They had a unicorn, a small baby unicorn named Uni that traveled with them. I think I don't know if that happened in the first episode, but what's really cool is the bad guy, the main antagonist, is Venger. And he's got one horn sticking out and fangs and
nice.
Awesome.
He does look pretty bad.
Voiced by Peter Cullen, also Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And just does a great job. But really dark show, cool show. They were always trying to get home. And there was a lot of moral battles, you know what I mean, within them. We could go home, but if we did, that would do this. You know what I mean?
Oh, they had the chance to do it.
Correct.
And they would never do it.
Yeah, and Frank Welker did the voice of the unicorn and the voice of Tiamat, the five-headed dragon. But later on in the show, you even find out Venger is the dungeon master's son. It's that deep of a story.
Dang.
You know what I mean? And again, I think that I was always just drawn to those that had a more of a story, more of an overarching story rather than just this is an episode and we beat Gargamel to get those apples.
Yeah. We won. There you go, Veiny Smurf.
It's going to be the
in
same
trouble.
next time. So, but yeah, that was probably one of my favorite shows. It only lasted for a few seasons, but
27 episodes, right?
It was good.
2 seasons.
And it was a cliffhanger ending too, as I remember.
Yeah, no.
It never finished.
Yeah, they had 3 seasons.
Yeah.
A total of 27 episodes.
But it was cut short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is terrible.
Yeah, that's what it was saying.
Great show.
And it was oh no.
But I would watch that right now if it was on, anytime.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. But
I never got to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
What was that other one? Gem Star, Battlestar, the other sword and sorcery one.
Thunder the Barbarian.
There was one.
That's one of my honorable mentions.
Right. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Most of those Hanna-Barberas like that, yeah, would always make every list on there. But I never got a chance to watch this one. I got a chance to watch the Gummy Bears. You know,
Sure.
It's kind of mystical.
Yeah, I watched the Gummy Bears because I had a little sister.
Right.
And she got her half hour.
I'm trying to think. Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the show?
Yeah.
I only really remember watching the previews at the end of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. That was it.
Well, weren't they tied together for a while too?
Yeah.
Where it was both episodes?
But you
never stuck around for
never
Zelda?
got to watch Zelda because it seemed like it was always showing the preview of what was going to happen.
Right.
But I never watched the show.
Wow.
I don't even know if it was like maybe they cut it off or something. I don't know. And it was just like 2 Captain Lou Albano episodes. I thought that was
We've
awesome.
got an extra Albano in here.
We got 2 Lou's.
Actually, that's a callback to one of my honorable mentions too, and we'll get into that.
Okay.
But we've got your number one, sir.
Now, like I said, I have one on this list. Ren and Stimpy was one of those that kind of came out when we were a little bit older. It was the 90s, you know. But this one is still the one that I love watching it. It's because it's so cool. Rocko's Modern Life.
Well, yeah.
He had a theme song from the B-52s. He worked in a comic book store with a turtle.
Right.
His next door neighbor worked at a business called Conglamo. I still use that to this day when I'm referring to like a big major company. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a Conglamo. You know, Mr. Big Head and Mrs. Big Head, Mr. Big Head. And that was my first exposure to Tom Kenny, which of course became SpongeBob.
Right.
Because he was Heifer the cow.
Oh.
And man, that show is awesome. I love it. It's so weird. You know, it wasn't like the Cowardly Dog one. It wasn't
Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Yeah, it wasn't that weird.
Yeah,
but
that's a pretty wacky show.
Yeah, but this one actually was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I loved all the weird stuff that they did. And even they came out with, I think, what was it, 2 years ago, they came out with a movie.
Oh, really?
A Netflix, like, original Rocko's Modern Life movie.
I had no idea.
It was like an hour and a half or something like that. But no, I love that show. I still, if that one's on, I'm always watching it.
Nice.
I'm like, I won't turn it. It's like, what's love got to do with it? If I see that on anywhere, like if I'm walking by a Radio Shack, right, and they're playing it on their TVs, I'm stopping. It's like, oh man, oh God, get him, Tina. Get him, Tina. That's like one of those weird movies for me, you know.
That's all right though.
But yeah,
We've all got those.
I love that show.
Right on.
It's one of my favorite. For one, the B-52s doing the theme song was pretty bitchin'.
Sure.
And that was even before I knew who the B-52s
course.
were. And I was like, man, this is so awesome. I love this one. And Rocko's Modern Life.
Little did you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome. That was my number one. So
That's a good one. Yeah.
So
I thought for sure his number one was going to be Daria.
Oh, you know, maybe. That was more of an after school one.
That was more, yeah.
MTV after school.
No, for sure. That was like
Crazy.
Beavis and Butthead time.
Yeah. Because they jumped on all that stuff too. Overexposed.
I will say the Daria movie was awesome that they played. There's a lot of inappropriate things that were awesome.
That's when Beavis and Butthead came out. That was kind of changing everything.
For sure.
What kind of honorable mentions do you got?
I'm going to start with an early one in my life, which a lot of these were earlier, like, again, Saturday morning, you know, but this one was a DIC production.
Ooh, Deke.
Yes. And I believe this was like 85 too, but this was Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling.
Dude, that one's on my honorable mentions too, man.
How awesome was that, dude?
I love that show.
You had the good guys, which was like Hulk Hogan, and then the Junkyard Dog, Captain Lou Albano, Andre the Giant, Wendy Richter. Yeah, you remember that from MTV, that promo. Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Hillbilly Jim, Tito Santana. And then, of course, they fought against Roddy Piper, the rowdy one.
Yeah, Rowdy
And
Piper was a bad
Iron
guy.
Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, the Fabulous Moolah. That was that old lady that
Yeah.
wrestled all the time
Yeah, yeah.
back then.
She
Big
was
John
awesome.
Studd and Mr. Fuji. Oh, and Bobby the Brain Heenan and Mean Gene Okerlund were in there a couple times.
That
too.
show is so awesome, dude.
Yeah. Well, what's really crazy about that show is looking back on it. I did not know the people that were in the voice casting for this. So Brad Garrett, who is a comedian, he played Everybody Loves Raymond. He was Hulk Hogan.
What?
Yeah. So this gets crazier because Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is the
Shredder?
Junkyard Dog.
Oh, because he was Shredder.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, what? Uncle Phil's a Junkyard Dog? They never talked about that on the Fresh Prince.
Uncle Phil.
But yeah, man, they all had their own cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It
what
was
I remember
crazy.
the most was the cars and stuff in that one.
It was always it was kind of like Heathcliff as far as the battles. You know what I mean? What was that Cats one you mentioned earlier? The second version of Heathcliff where they
Oh
were
my God. Yeah. The
they
Cadillac Cats.
Yeah, where they were fighting the other gangs of cats and stuff.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. But I remember waking up to watch that because I'd always watch wrestling on Sundays with my dad.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. That was the first thing I ever watched on cable, of course. But it was WWF.
Oh, there
It
you
was
go.
Pretty bitching. But yeah, that was awesome. Do you remember the television show Brave Star? I think we've talked about that
Eyes
one
of
quite
the
a bit.
Hawk.
That was so awesome, but
That's
it was so
actually
short-lived.
on my list too.
Yeah. It was on the short list. That might go up there. But like you said, like you always say, 30-30.
Yeah.
The freaking
The horse.
the horse that could fire a gun.
Stands up and pulls out his gun and starts firing.
The toys were so awesome because they were they were bigger than He-Man,
Right.
but they had cooler accessories and they could articulate way more
I always thought it was weird that he was a Native American
in space.
in space.
He was part of the Black Key, or not Black Keys, but the Black Eyed Peas. That's what he went to do. He came back.
But
just-
that was a great show, though. I love that show.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's weird to go back on that one, just like Thundercats, because
Yeah.
Thundercats was on my list. Thundercats was another one that I remember watching, but it never absorbed. I
Gotcha.
don't remember anything about it except for Mum Ra and Lion-O. And
Sword of
Chitara.
Omens, give me sight beyond sight.
Yeah, I never really remembered too much out of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I was a big Thundercats guy. I like that.
Yeah, I had a lot of Thundercats toys.
No, really?
Yeah.
I don't think that I really did, but I like the show.
Yeah, I had all the main dudes, and it was pretty cool.
Come on, Chitara.
Yeah.
It's weird. There's always one girl
Yeah.
in all those shows.
There should
you
have
know
been
what I mean?
more.
But
You know?
I really feel like in a lot of those shows, and Silverhawk was kind of the same way.
Yeah, they did have the
Yeah.
token woman.
Token female.
Yeah. Why? Well, now,
Well,
I mean,
G.I. Joe was that way for depending on the series because you started it was just Scarlet,
yep.
and then it was Lady J,
Yep.
and it was seldom Scarlet and Lady J.
Yeah. It would
You
be
know, and
one
then
per
later on
episode.
you got Jinx, and you know what I mean.
But
So-
she wasn't even really in the show.
no, I guess she wasn't.
Yeah, so you had the bad one, which was a Baroness. It was just every
And
token.
Zorana.
Yeah. So you did have the two, right?
Yeah.
It
But
was,
I mean, I think that there had been a lot of show at that point. You know what I mean?
yeah, when the Dreadnoks came in.
Yeah.
But you think about it, like He-Man,
Mhm.
each one of them had the same exact looking bad woman.
Yeah,
right?
Evelyn.
Evelyn and Tila.
Isn't there a Pink Floyd song about that? Does anyone here remember Evelyn? That's not how the song goes, but that's how I always sing it.
Okay. I'm gonna forgive you for that one because I hate Pink Floyd.
Almost as much as I hate Van Halen.
Nice. But why did they always had just the one female?
Yeah, it's very strange. Because it was misogynistic.
Well, very.
I mean, well, I think that's a built-in thing for the time, you know?
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? And I'm not excusing it, but I'm saying that it was built into the culture at that point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That
way
was
before, you know?
That's why a lot of people
What is that
have
called? Inherent misogyny? Something like that? Yeah.
Well, because I mean, we were playing with toys. It was, teaching us, hey, there's always one woman.
Yeah, just one girl for you to fight over.
yeah. What?
Awesome. Great lessons in life. Thanks, He-Man.
Just weird. Yeah, and then he had a sister on another planet because, God forbid, she's on the same planet as him.
Right.
Go play with your friends.
Outcast her.
Yeah. I thought She-Ra was awesome, though. She was pretty bitchin'.
Well, I mean, her sword turned it into a rope and stuff. His didn't do crap.
Yeah. His was just like a hunk of metal.
His was technically just the other half of Skeletor's sword.
Technically.
Yeah, right?
Did you ever watch Beetlejuice?
I did watch Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice was a good show. It wasn't like terribly awesome, but it was a good show in the way that it would keep your attention. It was just weird,
I kind of lump like all those shows. Like there's a lot of shows that came out of movies and other TV shows and things like that. Like I don't know if we talked about it on here, but like Rambo, RoboCop,
the real Ghostbusters,
which is different than the other Ghostbusters.
That's why they had to call it the real one.
Yeah. And a flying car.
Yeah. And the real Ghostbusters
Both were good.
Both
were good, actually. Yeah. But the real Ghostbusters was my jam for sure on that.
It was a cool ass show.
Yeah. I've got a couple kind of off the beaten path a little bit. The Littles. Did you ever watch that show?
That was towards the tail end of Saturday morning.
Yeah, yeah.
You get the Littles at like
Henry and the story of the little mouse people.
yeah. You're like, wow, the Littles are on. Maybe I should start getting ready to go outside.
Exactly. But I watched it. I watched the crap out of that.
Fucking hell yeah, man. I would sit through that one.
Right.
Because I'd be like, oh, the Littles are on. All right. There's nothing else.
The stories were usually pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was usually you were either watching that or you were watching the Saturday afternoon PSA movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't do drugs.
Right.
It's
that
like,
guy's on speed.
Watch out. She's going to jump out the window.
Hold on. She's on angel dust. What?
Yeah.
Is that even still a thing?
Was that a thing? At any point? It's so weird.
Yeah, but for sure.
They would smoke a little grass and
then they were out their mind.
Yeah, then they would be paragliding somewhere.
Speaking of early, but really they just fell off the building.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman's in it or something. Yeah. But at any rate, kind of like the Spider-Man Incredible Hulk one. There was a Tarzan and the Lone Ranger. Really? And it was a little bit later in the afternoon. I remember watching that, but it was a cartoon. And I remember watching that a lot.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
Maybe.
That was probably mid-'80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like Voltron, I only remember once, and I woke up early enough to watch Voltron.
Yeah, Voltron was always on real early.
It was like at 5:30. Voltron was on. It was like, why?
I'll be honest, like all the weird stuff was like you said earlier was on then. And I remember watching a show that was not a cartoon, but it was like all these like random characters, like a giant robot inside of a mountain and like different characters. And it was like, I still don't know what it is to this day. I remember watching it, when I was little,
because I remember that Voltron being on, and I had woke up early, right, before my parents were going to work,
right,
or at least my dad was. I think that was in Paris, and I remember it being pitch black dark. And I'm like, wow, Voltron's on. What is Voltron? I don't know.
I was never a big Voltron guy.
Yeah. Now, I knew one person that had some Voltron stuff.
I knew a couple people that were into it. But that's cool for them. I just never got into the story.
Right. It was that introduction for anime, for a lot of people. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Like I watched a lot of Rugrats.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes. They started being at the tail end. After the Littles or whatnot, they would show the old ones. Yeah. And then it ended up being on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because they had Sunday morning cartoons that weren't as long, but was still cartoons on Sunday.
Right.
So when you got to Looney Tunes, it was over.
Yeah.
Then it was time for the Disney Hour or something on ABC.
Yeah, you got to go watch that Disney movie of the week or whatever.
It's a Herbie, the Love Bug.
Yeah.
At 2:00 in the afternoon.
something with Don Knotts in it.
Yeah.
And his gang.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a dumpling gang show. Pippi Longstocking. What was, oh yeah, never mind. Yeah. Of course I had Transformers and G.I. Joe, but those were after school shows.
Those were after school shows to me too. And they were listed, like when I was doing some research, just to like, I was like, what was Saturday morning? You know what I mean? Because like the ones I remember, like they were listing all kinds of crazy ones, and I'm like, that was an after school show. That was an after school show.
Most of the Disney ones.
Some of them actually did come on Saturday mornings. I just don't remember that because I wasn't watching that shit.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
I wasn't watching the Punky Brewster show if I didn't have to.
No,
I wasn't watching, you know, the Rubik's Cube show if I didn't have to.
What was Cubert?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Didn't they have Cubert?
They did.
In the Pac-Man show?
Yeah.
Boring. Yeah, I mean, we already mentioned Super Mario Brothers.
Right.
That was more of an after school show for me too. When it came on,
I remember that being on Saturday mornings. I actually do remember that one. It was a little later in the day too. That was one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Punky Brewster reminds me of Alf, the Alf TV show.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy. I mean, Alf was like something I look forward to. I remember seeing Alf coming this Monday,
right,
from NBC, and I'm like, holy shit.
Did you watch the Alf cartoon?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Alf cartoon was pretty funny.
Yeah,
it was weird. He had flying cars and shit, you know.
Bouillabaisse.
Yeah. Bouillabaisse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm, of course, Super Friends. I think that's pretty much most of my... Oh, Count Duckula. Do you remember
Oh,
that
yeah,
one?
of course.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool one. And, of course, SpongeBob. That was a Saturday.
Yeah.
And to this day, the first probably 4 to 5 seasons are still funny.
Oh, yeah.
I can watch SpongeBob all the time.
I could see that.
In the movie, too. The SpongeBob movie is freaking hilarious. I don't know. I cry laughing sometimes watching that. It's so funny.
All good because of David Hasselhoff.
Yeah. At the very end. That was the one thing that I could probably do without.
I'm sure.
But the rest of it, I'm like, oh my God. The Goofy Goober song, I still sing that shit.
I watched a lot of Phineas and Ferb with my daughters, and that was a great show because it was a lot about imagination, and the creators were awesome, and there were also it was just funny.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember the
Deep subjects a lot lot of times.
That's pretty cool.
You know?
Yeah. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Sure.
Oh my God, Dexter's Laboratory.
Dexter's Laboratory. I would say the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yeah,
that was a really good one.
That was a big one.
I like bunnies on fire.
that was my son's generation, my oldest.
Sure.
And we watched a lot of Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I watched it the other day and was like, good God, that's crazy. This one's weird, you know, but I still liked it. I still watched the whole thing. But other than that, though, I really don't have any other honorable mentions.
Yeah. So that was some honorable mentions. We did some top fives.
Oh, Camp Candy.
Well, come on.
I know it's John Candy's show.
How can you go wrong?
Yeah.
Bobby's World.
Oh,
Howie Mandel.
That's right.
Before he was a clean freak. Before he was bald, anyways.
Right. Which, you know, now we live in a world.
It's a power move.
Right. Now we live in a world where there's adult cartoons and there's risque cartoons and there's every kind of freaking cartoon you want.
I think at some point in the future we'll do our top 5 adult cartoons.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Anime, regular cartoons.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something with our generation. We had Saturday morning cartoons. They don't have it anymore.
Yeah, I know, right?
And it seems like everybody that had them was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm making my own cartoon for any time, you know? So you actually got really good ones.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
And I think that a lot through the 80s and 90s, there's ones that were like one season.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I didn't put any of those really on my list other than the Incredible Hulk, just because it tied in with Spider-Man.
Right.
But they were pretty good. Like, there was a Visionaries cartoon. Do you remember that at all? They had, like, their toys had the hologram chest. Like, they'd have a lion on them or something. And then in the cartoon, like, the lion would come out. And it was like magic versus tech kind of a deal. Sort of.
See, they were always trying cool stuff because that's, you know, at that period of time, I mean, you had like Transformers, right? So that was popular. You had GoBots. So everything was based around technology too. That was like the Target Transformer. Yeah, the Kmart Transformer.
Great name, ass face. I'm a chick.
Look at the scooter.
What was the bad guy? Psycho something?
I don't even know.
Yeah, whatever.
I used to be a fan, but I don't even remember any of it.
Did you watch the Mask?
I never got a chance to.
No. Working overtime, fighting crime?
Mask. Every property pretty much had.
And they're making a movie of that, of course.
A Mask?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Will it, though? Probably not.
No.
It's like Fast and the Furious with weapons.
Ouch.
I said it. I said it.
You just hurt a lot of people's feelings. That was a bad one. Yikes.
Well, if it's better than that, I'll give it props.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting anything.
I lost touch with Fast and the Furious after the first one.
I like 2. That was all right.
Yeah, Tokyo Drift.
No, that's 3.
Oh. Yeah, I'm lost. Now they're in like side characters.
Yeah, like Hobbs and Shaw.
Shobbs
and Hall.
I'm surprised they don't have a Saturday morning cartoon for that. Oh. I wish they would bring it back, though. I would wake up.
It would just be like a bunch of 40-year-old people. You know what I mean?
When do you normally
Saturday morning cartoons?
When do you normally wake up on Saturday anyway?
Well, I mean,
early.
On Saturday, usually early, like at 6:30 in the morning.
Yes.
But here's the best part now is I get to control what my Saturday morning cartoons are. Right. I don't have to sit through the Munchie Cheese if I don't want to.
Yeah, the Snorks.
Yeah,
You're like, fucking Snorks are on.
Fucking
you flip through your 3 channels, right?
Breathing Smurfs.
Yeah. CBS, NBC, and ABC.
Yes.
And each one of them, you'd see the ad, and like, I have a lot of older comic books that would show like the Jimmy Walker show, the Mr. T show, all that stuff like that. They're like the new Saturday morning on CBS.
Right.
Man. Yeah, if they did that, we would be the only ones watching it. You know, it'd be like shows like this.
Yeah,
you know,
like a 100,000th of the population was watching. What were your ratings? No, we got 4.
Yeah, but that would be so cool, though.
It would be cool.
But what would be cool is to like set up your own Saturday morning cartoons until you ran out of the episodes.
I wonder how. That would be cool to do. What would be really cool is if you had somehow, we might have to check into this. We'll just get the rights to a show to play it.
Yeah.
And we'll live stream and do one of those like chat things.
Yeah. On Saturday mornings.
Yeah, on Saturday mornings. There you go. Saturday morning cartoons with the Drop Culture gang. And they'll all be like weird. Because you know we're not going to be able to pay a lot of money.
Right. Yeah, it'd be some weird cartoon from the 50s. It's like a weird edition of the Flintstones.
We got PBS as the letter people.
This is weird.
Come and meet the letter people.
But now think about your 5, right? And they're all 30 minutes. So
okay.
what's that? 2.5 hours?
Sure.
With okay.
Commercials, you mean?
Right. Yeah, with commercials, it'd be 3 hours pretty much. No, it'd still be 2.5 because they're about 21 minutes long anyway.
23 minutes, somewhere in there.
Would you watch these every Saturday morning if they were in your list? Like number 1 would be at your 10:30 spot or your 10 o'clock spot.
I would have it be earlier.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like a 9 a.m.
9.
Maybe. Well, you know.
I was thinking 8.
Maybe 8.
Yeah, 8
I'd
o'clock.
Be okay with 8.
Yeah, 8 to 10:30.
Yeah, there you go.
And then that's
so that'd be in my. I wouldn't want it to be my first one though. I would want it to be my second one. Because I want to gear up to make sure that I'm paying attention when my number 1's on.
No, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
It was like my number 5. It would start off with Garfield and Friends. So I'm kind of like, I'm waking up and I'm like, that Orson's funny. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So like my adrenaline's pumping, right?
Right.
I'm like, woo, and I have to go like calm down a little bit, right?
Right.
About the time X-Men the animated series would come on, I'm eating breakfast. you know, it's about 9 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, I already had my drink in the morning. It's time to have my breakfast. Right. And then I get settled in and I'm almost taking that nap like we do now. It's like 8 o'clock and I'm like, man, I need to take a nap.
That's late.
And then I'm watching Eek the Cat and I'm just laughing because it's so funny. And then boom, hits it with Rocko's Modern Life, my favorite one.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
that's it.
I think if I did it, I would start out with my Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and Incredible Hulk Power Hour, as long as, you know, cause I get that for one season. So that's two of them wrapped up together.
It
And,
would fizzle out.
and let's be realistic that those stories weren't real deep in the mid 80s, you know what I mean? So like, it's like brain
Hulk
candy
smash.
to some degree, you know? So that gets me started, you know, I'm like, okay, eating my breakfast, whatever I'm doing, having my coffee.
Yeah.
And then, then I would go. I would probably do. Would I do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles after that?
That was always action packed.
Yeah.
They never had a slow moment on that show.
No, true.
I mean, there was no juxtaposition or like
I would go.
introverted stuff.
I would go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because that gets you hype.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd rock out some Silverhawks and some Dungeons and Dragons last. Yes.
Yeah. See, I was
Because-
thinking about changing my list and putting X-Men at the end
Okay.
because it's like the soap opera. And
Yeah,
it's right
yeah.
before my mid-afternoon nap.
There you go.
Nap
Perfect.
one.
You can wake up and watch some Matlock.
Yeah. And you're like,
Maybe some Murder, She Wrote.
oh my god. And you're like, oh, Murder She Wrote's on. Screw that. It's hot. The sun is on me now and I'm trying to sleep. that is a real thing. But yeah, no, I think that would be really cool. If anybody out there has your top 5 favorite, let us know.
Yeah, what did we miss?
I know.
I'm sure there's stuff out there.
a huge list.
I didn't even talk about Thundar the Barbarian. Lords of Light.
Yeah, Thundar was pretty awesome.
Yeah. That had a great story. I mean, it actually had decent. Okay, the plots weren't real deep, but like the backstory was pretty good. You know what I mean?
Right. None of them, yeah, I don't think would, well, a couple of the older ones. Like, remember Beast Wars?
Yeah.
That one was at more afternoon, but it was on Saturday mornings. That was more of like a drama.
Did you ever watch Gargoyles?
Kind of.
That was actually a really good show.
A lot of people like that one.
yeah.
Batman the Animated Series.
Of course.
But that was an afternoon show.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I
And
guess it ran on Saturdays.
I'm sure. I don't know. That was well past the time I was,
Right.
you know.
I remember watching the very first episode of that being like, wow,
Yeah.
Batman's on TV.
Batman.
They were doing the 66 syndication on TBS at that time, and they were also doing that. And Batman the movie was coming out. It was like, wow. He almost had a
Batman movie. Wasn't that already out?
No. Just Batman, yeah,
Wow.
with Nicholson. So you had all these different versions.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that
And then, what was the animated Batman Mask of the Phantasm?
yeah,
That was part of kind of that.
the TV show.
TV show, right?
It was the first. That might have been the first DC animated movie.
Right. Not
But-
that they count those in the.
Right,
Yeah.
but some lists have those on there.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, but now they have.
It was
all these
really
new ones.
good, too.
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
great movie.
I own that on VHS.
Ooh,
I
dang.
did. I don't.
Mm.
Yeah, I didn't hold on to it.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of stuff on the same list. We were watching a lot of the same things, but that was the only thing that was on. I mean, how many girl shows were there? And that's sad to think about,
Well, there really were more than you think. There was
Yeah.
like My Little Pony and Strawberry Shortcake,
right?
Care Bears,
Okay.
you know,
But-
Gummy Bears, Munchie Cheese, which are
Yeah.
maybe a little more androgynous.
Right.
Um,
The Snorks weren't they? No, they weren't.
Uh,
Neither were the Smurfs. See, they only
Rainbow
had one.
Bright.
Rainbow Bright.
They had
Jim and the Holograms.
Hey, that's not a girl show. But no, absolutely. Yeah. It wasn't as many, obviously. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
comparatively, no. But I think there's more than we think sometimes. And maybe I just know that because I have a sister. One that I watched a lot that we didn't talk about was Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, yeah.
I did watch the crap out of that show when I was a
Oh,
kid.
yeah. Yeah, and then that's when they were still releasing Christmas albums. They were still together.
Before they broke up and got into heroin.
Yeah, before they broke up and started hanging out with the monkeys. Nothing like that Davy Jones, man.
Were they still releasing records in the 80s for that?
I think so. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought they were earlier than that.
Who?
The Chipmunks.
Oh, yeah. No, they were doing stuff from like the 50s
60s,
and
right?
stuff like that, right? And then they kind of like still were releasing Christmas albums.
Right, okay.
And it's just like high-pitched singing.
Yeah.
What the?
I don't know why
Fuck.
anybody would buy those albums, but I did watch the cartoon quite a bit.
Yeah. No, people love that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they made their money. The Chipmunks were millionaires only because they released records.
Yeah, yeah.
The TV show,
How do you think
that's
Dave
cool.
Seville got rich?
Right. You don't get rich playing in college.
That's right.
But yeah, no, yeah, I kind of wish that our kids got the same real experience like that.
Well, I think that there was more balance back then. Like, don't get me wrong, I love cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
I like cartoons as an adult. However, there was a cool thing about you got them at a certain time, and then you went outside and you played.
Yeah. You
know
still
what I
did
mean?
that. Yeah. Because it wasn't 24/7 TV.
Or, video games or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even then, it wasn't like I didn't sit and just play video games.
No, I wasn't that kid either.
Yeah.
Like, I got tired of it.
I'd play for an hour and then be like, okay, I'm gonna go play baseball.
Yeah. I'm going to go outside and play home run derby.
I taped up this wiffle ball bat with electrical tape.
It's gonna be badass.
Right?
Yeah, no, we did a lot more playing outside.
For sure.
More than the kids do. Now they're TikToking. I don't even know what they do. I'm that old. I'm not even.
TikTok's so like 16-year-old.
I know, right? That's so Raven.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, I guess we could wrap it up.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Saturday morning cartoons
For a while.
to where I want to wake up tomorrow, which is Saturday, and watch cartoons. I might do that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
And see if I can find some Heathcliff episodes,
There you go.
or even watch the Police Academy show. Sleep until like 7. Whoa!
Slept until 7.
Yeah.
Still got up and watched cartoons.
Yeah. You wake up and you're like, oh my God, it's 7 o'clock. God, I slept way too late.
I think that's how they should have continued the Tarantino verse, is by cartoon.
Ooh, that would be pretty cool.
All told by Christopher Walken's character from Pulp Fiction.
Oh man, he could be
As
the
the
narrator.
narrator.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Introduces each episode.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Anyways,
like Pulp
but-
Fiction, the TV show.
Yeah, the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah, the animated series.
There you go. Anyways, but with that, yeah, we should probably get out of here. Check out the website, dropculture.com. Let us know what Saturday morning cartoons or whatever cartoons that we missed.
Yeah. But what is your definition of a Saturday morning cartoon too? Since we kind of had a slippery slope on that.
Yeah.
We were on the tail end of the actual Saturday morning cartoons because they were going for 20 years before that.
Yeah.
10, 15.
I think I was a little deeper inside of it just because I'm a couple years older, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Old man.
Old man. Yeah, back in my day.
All right. So, yeah.
We watch cartoons on Saturdays.
Dropculture.com. Instagram at dropculture.
Drop Culture Podcast at gmail.com.
And also remember, we have a Redbubble.
Bubbles.
Go on there and get your Anonymous Collective merchandise, get your Drop Culture merchandise, get your any of your Skeletons of Memory merchandise. There's a ton of stuff on there. Show a little support. We make about 20 cents on those.
Perfect.
But yeah, per shirt. It's not about the profit. It's about getting the word out.
That's right.
So, yeah.
It's about making cool T-shirts.
Yeah, exactly. If you go on Redbubble, look for the Skeletons of Memory, or even just look up Drop Culture T-shirts, and they're going to pop up.
That's right.
And we got them everywhere. Just on me right now.
Yeah, actually.
Got my Drop Culture shirt on. I'm ready. I think I'm going to sleep in it. All right, later.
All right, then. Sweet. What else you got to do? Lazy shits.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.